Welcome to This Explainer. Look, today we are going to completely dismantle pretty much everything society has taught you about what financial success actually looks like. So if you've ever felt like you're somehow falling behind despite bringing home a decent paycheck, you're definitely going to want to stick around for this one. I want you to keep a sort of open loop in your mind as we dig into the data today. Ask yourself, why is the neighbor with the absolute flashiest sports car so often secretly broke? Seriously, think about it. Because the answer to that question reveals the single biggest trap of modern financial life. All right, section one, the illusion of wealth. Let's start by talking about that intense, heavy social pressure you might be feeling to keep up appearances. Financial advisor Quincy Wayne Myers sums it up flawlessly when he says, the Joneses are probably broke. It sounds crazy, but it is a documented reality. Those people you're constantly comparing yourself to on social media, the ones posting the endless Bali vacations and the brand new cars, yeah, they are very likely drowning in bad debt just to maintain a curated, perfectly filtered persona. Moving on to section two, the psychology of showing off. To really understand why we fall into this trap, we have to look at the academic research. When income inequality rises, it triggers a literal biological stress response in us called status anxiety. We just panic about our social rank. And to soothe that anxiety, we dive headfirst into conspicuous consumption. Basically, buying highly visible luxury goods for the sole purpose of signaling our self-worth to everybody else. And think about how digital platforms act like absolute gasoline on this fire. They take our totally normal status anxiety, mix it with a natural need for validation and admiration, and turn the whole thing into a destructive cycle of visible spending. We blur our authentic identities with these fake personas. The ultimate consequence here: we get stuck in endless cycles of crippling household debt and, surprisingly, increased carbon emissions, all just trying to outspend each other. Which brings us to section three, the millionaire next door. Here is the massive plot twist revealed by Thomas Stanley's 20-year study of actual millionaires. Your income absolutely does not equal your wealth. You could earn a massive top-tier salary, but blow it all on status symbols, leaving you with barely any net worth. Stanley calls this the underaccumulator of wealth. Or, on the flip side, you could earn a totally average income, but build massive wealth by living below your means and investing. That's the prodigious accumulator. It's your habits, not your paycheck, that determine where you end up. There's a classic phrase down in Texas that hits the nail on the head for this illusion. Big hat, no cattle. Spending money to show people how much money you have is literally the fastest way to guarantee you'll soon have less of it. And honestly, the reality of true wealth is surprisingly boring. It's completely invisible. Actual millionaires, the data shows they mostly drive used cars, with the Ford F-150 being the most common. They live in the exact same totally average home for 20-plus years. They wear off-the-rack suits, check the time on a Seiko or a Timex, and grab a beer instead of a $500 bottle of wine. True wealth is money compounding quietly in the background, not money strapped to your wrist. Section 4. Real financial well-being. So if it's not about the luxury goods, we really need to redefine what financial success actually feels like. When the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau researched real financial well-being, they didn't mention luxury cars a single time. Instead, they found 4 beautiful, simple elements: having control over your daily and monthly finances, having the capacity to easily absorb a financial shock, being on track for your goals, and most importantly, having the sheer freedom to make choices that let you enjoy your life. That security, that's the real goal. Section 5, the magic of tiny habits. The transition away from that constant status anxiety and actually build that secure well-being, you don't need a lottery win. You just need a system. Author James Clear proved a mind-blowing mathematical reality. Getting just 1% better per day doesn't make you 365% better over a year. Because of the magic of compounding, it actually makes you almost 37 times better. It's like a giant puzzle where progress is practically invisible at the start. Clear calls this the plateau of latent potential. Most people just throw their hands up and quit right there, on the plateau. But if you persist, the breakthrough is incredible. And this works exactly the same way in long-term investing. Saving a bit every month feels super slow at first, but compound interest rewards patience exponentially. In fact, 75% of your wealth actually accumulates in the final 15 years of a 30-year timeline. The first 10 years are a grind, but the last 10 feel like an absolute miracle. So let's build an actionable system right now by applying the 4 laws of behavior change directly to our money. Step 1, make it obvious by setting a crystal clear goal like aiming for financial freedom at age 55. Step 2, make it attractive by genuinely visualizing that peace of mind. Step 3, make it impossibly easy. Take 2 minutes and set up an automated savings plan today. And finally, step 4, make it satisfying by tracking your growing invisible wealth instead of focusing on what you can show off. You are basically building an unbreakable chain of wealth generation. But hey, we live in the real world, and you still have to protect this automated system from the constant temptation of conspicuous consumption. To kill those impulse buys and stop lifestyle creep in its tracks, I want you to use the 3 times rule. It is wonderfully simple. If you cannot comfortably buy something 3 times over without sweating it, you cannot afford it. It's the ultimate filter. Finally, Section 6, identity beats your goals. The absolute game changer in the science of habits is this: lasting behavioral change only happens when your habits align with your identity. You have to stop viewing yourself as a consumer who is reluctantly just trying to save. Instead, you need to declare, I am someone who invests. That one simple shift in how you see yourself, that's what gives you the grit to stay the course through the boring plateaus and the crazy market crashes. So what does this all mean for you right now? I want to leave you with a final thought to spark your journey. What is one tiny, automated habit you can set up today to prove to yourself that you are someone who invests? It is time to stop performing for the Joneses and start building your own invisible freedom. Thanks so much for watching this explainer, and I will catch you in the next one.